Greetings, tree peoples. Doc here from Artistry Bonsai Studios in Western Massachusetts for episode 2 of 365, Bonsai 365. Episode 2 is a philosopher's dream and my nightmare to try and fit this into 5 minutes, but I'm not even going to try. It'll be as long as it'll be. It might actually be a lot shorter than 5 minutes. We'll see. No, I highly doubt that. But, episode 2, the questions driving the episode. What is botany? What is bonsai? And what is a tree? First, what is bonsai? Why am I starting with bonsai? Well, most of my audience, my intended audience at least, are bonsai practitioners. And be a few people that are brand new to bonsai that are here with us, and for those people this is intended, but also for those of us who've been doing bonsai for years. It's good every now and then to stop and deconstruct and really consider what we're doing. But for our purposes here, I need a concise definition, and I'm going with Peter Chen's definition. For those of you who are not aware of Peter Chen and his work, he's the owner of Heron's Bonsai in the United Kingdom, who has a fantastic YouTube channel. It's a big impact on me when I was just starting out, and he's fantastic for beginners. Some further along those further along in the practice of bonsai, you will also get some useful information from Peter and his work. Although I cannot recommend his YouTube channel enough for anyone beginning in bonsai. Excuse me. Anyway, a book that he published, the Bonsai Beginner's Bible, has an excellent definition to the question, what is bonsai? It's from page 10 of this book. I don't know, hold it up while I do this. You don't need to look at my terrible face the entire time. Most people are familiar with a bonsai's appearance, but what exactly is a bonsai? Not every tree growing in a pot will qualify as a bonsai. For a tree to be regarded as a bonsai, it must have certain defining characteristics. It must be grown in a container, it must have a distinctive artistic shape, and it must be miniature in size. A bonsai should be a small-scale replica in a pot of a fully grown tree that you might see in nature. Its size and aesthetic appearance controlled by regular pruning, pinching, and shaping, watering, and feeding. From page 10 of Chen's book. Literally, of course, the word bonsai, bon and sai, two syllables, from the Japanese language, tree, pot. So, to say a bonsai is not just a tree grown in a pot. Well, literally it is a tree grown in a pot, but I like the more extended definition there a little bit more. But we also have to ask then, what is a tree? What is a tree is a little more complicated. So, what is a tree? Commonly, I think for our purposes and commonly in life, a useful enough definition of a tree is we know one when we see one. I know that's ridiculous sounding, but when you actually think about it, it really is, nature doesn't follow the guidelines that we set upon it. And take, for example, a banana tree. It doesn't have a trunk necessarily. It's botanically speaking a giant herb. But we would look at a banana tree and say, that's a tree. So, basically, I'm going to borrow heavily here. Applied tree biology here. And I'm going to entitle from a paragraph entitled, What is a Tree? This is by Herons and Thomas. Also an excellent book. A little more advanced than Chen's bonsai book there, but besides the point. From page 15 of that book, dictionaries often describe trees as perennial woody plants that have a self-supporting main stem and branches forming a distinct elevated crown. Some even go on to suggest a minimum height of around 5 meters. Obviously, that doesn't work for us. We're talking about bonsai here. Minimum height of 5 meters. Yikes. We're taller than this room. Many trees have multiple stems. Strangler figs are not self-supporting but can grow 30 plus meters tall. Palm trees have no branching, and on and on. So they pull their definition of a tree not from a biologist but from a judge, Lord Denning, who had to define a tree for part of the judgment under the UK Town and Country Planning Act, and he stated, anything that one would ordinarily call a tree is a tree. That works just fine for our needs. Seriously, if you would call it a tree, it's normally a tree. If you would normally call it a tree, it's a tree. Finally, then, what is botany? Well, botany is one part of the study of biology, and biology is the study of life. Biology studies plants, animals, fungi, the three main kingdoms of life. Botany is the study of plants. A tree is one specific way of being a plant, and a bonsai is one specific way of being a tree. An artistic, in a pot way of being a tree, but one specific way of being a tree. A tree is one specific way of being a plant, and a plant is one specific way of being alive. Ultimately, for our purposes, that is our definition. We know a tree when we see it. A tree is one way of being, or a bonsai is one way of being a tree. A tree is one way of being a plant. A plant is one way of being alive. And that is where we will wrap up for today. So, there we are. Hope everyone enjoyed this episode. This was episode 2 of 365 for Bonsai and Botany 5 by 365. And we will see you all in episode 3. Thank you.